So, I'm an ice skater, and this is going to be a little different video than I normally make. Usually I talk about self-improvement and entertain, whatever. But this video is going to be about sports. And my favorite sport personally is ice hockey. Well, because I'm an ice skater. A lot of people don't like ice hockey or find it boring or whatever, but a lot, and for some reason people in America, not saying it should be the most popular sport. It definitely isn't the most popular sport in America, because I think that NHL players, are paid the least. But I don't really know. I don't really know all the statistics. I think they're paid more now than they used to be, but I think that it used to be a long time that the NHL was it was the lowest paying, or one of the lowest. I don't know if it was the lowest, but one of the lowest paying professional sports, which is really interesting considering how physically demanding hockey is. And hockey is really a fun sport. I don't know. I'm not talking about field hockey. I'm talking about ice hockey. No, I bet field hockey is really fun. I've never tried field hockey, but I kind of want to try it low key. I'm a huge hockey fan. I'm a Colorado Avalanche fan, so we won the Stanley Cup this year, and it has been a long time coming, man. 2022, honestly, has been such a great year for me. Avalanche won the Stanley Cup. I finally got my life together with semen retention. Life is just moving forward. I feel like I'm more on a vibe than I've ever been. I feel very good. So yeah, I'm enthusiastic about the team. I don't know if we're gonna win again next year, but I don't really care. I was just happy that we won in general, at all. We got the Stanley Cup again after 20 years in my lifetime. And I got to I wasn't there, but dude, it was cool. And just honestly legendary. What a legendary victory by the Avs. The Avs were just kicking ass the whole year, and even people who are not our fans or weren't fans of the team knew that we deserved it. We had the right players. We put the work ethic in. Our coach just was phenomenal. The coach really did a great job, and you just saw McKinnon score that goal, and it was just bro. It was so cool to see McKinnon and Landeskog and all these guys who'd been on the team for 10 years, finally be able to lift the cup. They just more than well deserved it, after all the losses, the drought we had for a long time. So it was a good season, and we'll see what happens next year. It's always fun to analyze. People overanalyze it, in my opinion, a little bit, but it's whatever happens, no one really knows what's going to happen. But all I want is that I'm kind of happy that we dethroned, I guess, as you could say, Tampa. They were, yeah, dude. It would have been so disappointing. Can you imagine if they won 3 times in a row? I'm so glad we beat them. Honestly, I don't feel one bad regret about beating them. And then when they were crying, it's dude, shut the hell up. You've already won 2 titles. We haven't won one in 20 years. And you're well, you cheated. Even though, I guess this is old news, but, you cheated, the country cheated, there was no sides. It's so funny how fans get, I do it too. Clearly I'm, simping for my team, but, whatever. We had way better players. I'm sorry, but our team was, okay, no, I wouldn't say we have way better players. It was very close. Tampa has some good players. If they didn't, they wouldn't be in the final. But we'll see next year if Tampa, maybe they'll win again. Who knows? Maybe they'll get there. The fact that they've won 2 in a row is pretty insane. 2 in a row in general, especially the way hockey is now, that's freaking impressive. Which is why I hope that we're a major contender again. I was a little worried because we lost a lot of our best players. And hockey is my favorite sport by far. I don't really like football, American football. I think it's, I can't get my brain around it. Even when I understood the game, there was a part of my life where I just didn't understand football. But still, even when I understood it, I was I don't like a game where it stops this much. It's too slow paced for me. Like, it's too much, like, 10 minutes. Okay. Throw the ball. Okay, stop. 20 minutes later. Oh, again. It's like every play lasts like 30 seconds. It's like, I don't get it. I don't understand the appeal, but whatever, you know, if you like it, you like it. It's an American thing. It's more of an American thing. They're like, American football is so important that pretty much if you mention certain teams, people will know what you're talking about. That's how popular it is in American culture. But I don't follow it, so it's like when people start talking about football around me, or baseball especially, another sport that I find extremely boring. Even though I played it, it's just not a sport that I like. It's just not a sport. I don't like sports where it's like, I don't like start and stop sports, basically. I don't like sports that it's like, even though, I mean, hockey is a start and stop sport, but there's nowhere as much stoppage as there is. I like sports, yeah, like hockey, like football. Not football like American football, but actual football, because that's what it should be called. I agree with Europeans on this. Like, it's one of those dumb things that we did as America. We're like, it's called football. We're just going to take their name, because it doesn't make any sense. It should be called American rugby, because it's more similar to rugby. Just call it American rugby. It's literally the same concept pretty much as rugby, except there's pads and like the game actually stops. Literally, it's pretty much the same. People huddle up, pile up, injuries. People still get hurt, even with the gear. So I don't understand what we were thinking when we were like, we're gonna name this football. I feel like we did it just to spite Europeans. It's like one of those things where we're like, fuck the Europeans, we're better than them, we're America. Which, to be honest, I don't really have that much sympathy for Europeans, because Europeans, no offense, are a little snobby, but I don't know. It's just not. I just don't vibe with it. And it's just a boring sport. And the cold culture, just drinking beer and watching football, it's just really stupid to me. And then watching the Super Bowl every year, it's like, I don't care about the Super Bowl. I don't care about it. I care about the Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup is the only major sport event that I actually care about at all. I don't even care about, like, I'm an ice skater, like, I'm a figure skater, and I don't even care about ice skating, like, that much. Like, the sport itself, like, I like training in it and practicing my craft, but, like, competitive ice skating is, like, I don't care. Like, it's just so boring to me, too, to watch competitively. There's certain skaters that I enjoy watching, but most of the skaters that I watch, like, as a figure skater, I find them to be extremely boring to watch. Because a lot of them just look the same, and they skate to the same boring music. Like, the ones that win, if you've ever noticed, not only are they good, like, Nathan Chen, for instance, like, the reason I like watching Nathan Chen isn't just because his skating is good, his skills are good, his tricks, that's part of it. Like, his tricks are freaking amazing, and he absolutely nails it. Like, he is just on another level. Like, he's just on another level compared to, like, all the competitive skaters. But he's fun to watch because his presentation, he stands out. He skates to music that is interesting, instead of all these other skaters who skate to, like, the same symphony song from, like, 20 years ago, and they're like, that was one thing I want to notice in the Olympics. Like, a lot of the skaters skate to the same damn music, the same boring music, and they all look the same. They all look the same, and of course they don't stand out. And here comes Nathan Chen, just like the only person that had any good music, that had any expression, and who smiled, that was fun to watch, was Nathan Chen. It was like, dude, alone, even if he had nailed his tricks, I would have won. I would have, like, if I was on the judging panel, I would have given him like a 20 or whatever. I don't know, whatever the score is. I would have given him the highest possible score just based on his presentation alone, because that is what makes skating fun. Presentation and expression. It's an art. So I don't understand why a lot of skaters are like, yes, I'm going to skate to, like, the symphony music from 10 years ago. It's so boring. Skate to something interesting. No one wants to see you skate to, like, the angelic symphony. Like the coaches and the old people keep bringing up this crappy, boring music, and they take all the art out of it. Like people like, what I love about people like Nathan Chen and people who, you know, like Johnny Weir and people like that is, and you know, Evgeny Plushenko, like a lot of these guys, it wasn't just that they skated good, it was that they had really interesting artistry and they stood out and they challenged the whole boring thing that is, because skating, a lot of it is just really boring. It's just boring. It's boring to watch people who look the same. And I know that there always will be like those people who just tend to follow the group, but it'd be nice if people, skating in my opinion is an art, and I feel like there should be diversity in the expression. People don't want to take risks in general in art today, and I feel like that's the biggest thing. We're all afraid to fight the status quo, which is the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. All these people are like, I hate capitalism, I hate the status quo. Meanwhile, they're doing literally everything the same as the status quo. They're doing everything to obey the status quo, not taking any risks. All the amazing success that has happened in capitalism for like the last 20 years was based off of people taking risks. Taking risks that people won't like them. Taking risks that, but people, the things where people take the risk, like in creative endeavors, when they take a risk of trying something different that isn't going to fit the norm, that is usually what creates an entire genre sometimes. And literally people will emulate that. The person who created something that wasn't the same as the norm, wasn't the same. So that is the essence of art, and art needs risk. Maybe people won't like it. Why is that such a bad thing? Why do you have to try to please everyone now? Oh, I'm worried about hurting people's feelings. Oh, everybody has to apologize for everything, for what they really think. And that's so stupid to me. Our culture is so afraid of, like, that's why we're stuck in this rut, guys. That's why we're stuck in I believe, a creative rut, because we have the status quo literally is dictating everything. And therefore, it's not capitalism. This is like not capitalism. Here's the thing. Capitalism is not the reason you need money, or is why you're obsessing about money, or why you have to see products every day. Capitalism involves taking risk. I think people have misinterpreted the idea of capitalism into what it is right now. This is capitalism, but it is a modified version of capitalism. It is like a shitty version, if that makes sense. It's a really shitty version of capitalism where creativity is discouraged. Real being honest is discouraged. Obeying the status quo is encouraged. So that's the truth, my friends. Like, anyway, guys, peace.